To make our orange sherbet, we'll need sugar, orange juice freshly squeezed, orange juice concentrate thawed or partially, salt, lemon juice also freshly squeezed, vanilla extract, and milk, preferably whole milk. The equipment needed to make our sherbet includes a knife, cutting board, a microplane grater for zesting the orange, custard cups, measuring spoons, a straight edge spatula, a rubber scraper, a whisk, dry measuring cups, liquid measuring cups, a juicer, a container to hold the base in overnight, and an ice cream maker to churn it properly. So as I measure each ingredient, since these all just get put together and mixed, I'm just gonna place them into the storage container and mix there, and I'll save a dish or two to wash. The first thing I'm going to do is zest my orange, and I'm using the microplane grater instead of a regular zester so that I get much smaller, finer pieces. That way they'll be able to blend into the sherbet better, but still give that wonderful orange flavor that you really can only get from the zest of the orange. Nothing really compares to that when it's added to any dish. So you can see there's the zest of one orange, and that'll be plenty. I do want to make sure to mention that whenever you're zesting, to not go too far past the peel. You don't want to get any of this white portion underneath, because that's the pith and it is very bitter. So you want to make sure you don't go, just take the color off of the citrus fruit whenever you zest it. The next thing that I'm going to do for my sherbet is to juice the oranges. And so it's important that I make sure I cut them across the middle and not top to bottom, because I need to get this nice wagon wheel look so that they're easier to juice. So I've placed my juicer on top of a liquid measuring cup so that I can tell as I juice the oranges how many more oranges I will need to juice. So I particularly like this type of juicer because it catches all the pulp and seeds but lets the juice get through. And you want to make sure that you take your orange from this to this. So now I'll continue to juice the rest of my oranges. So now that I have 2 cups of fresh squeezed orange juice, I'm going to add that to my zest. And go on to the next ingredient. Let's add a few more ingredients to our sherbet base. So here's my half cup of granulated sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, half cup of orange juice concentrate, and because that's clinging to the cup, I want to make sure I scrape that clean. And now I need to measure 2 tablespoons of my freshly squeezed lemon juice to add. We have just a few ingredients left. Now we'll add our last few ingredients. We need to add vanilla extract and our milk. And then we'll need to stir this together and chill it for a couple of hours or overnight before we put it into the ice cream maker. In order to churn our sherbet, we need to set up our ice cream maker. I have that special freezer bowl that uses no ice or salt. I have the dasher. Notice the point is going to go into that little divot in the bottom. Then I'm going to put the cover on and lock it in place. Then I'm going to turn it on and let it spin for a couple minutes before I pour the sherbet base into the ice cream maker. Now that my ice cream maker's been spinning for a couple minutes, I'm going to go ahead and pour that well-chilled base in. And I'm going to scrape the container to make sure that everything gets into the maker. We want to churn this constantly to avoid large ice crystals from forming. And in about 20 minutes, we should have some delicious sherbet. Now that our sorbet has reached its final stages, and it's a nice, soft, scoopable consistency, we can move it into a container to store in the freezer. Of course, being in the freezer will give it more the consistency of a traditional ice cream. So we may have to let it set out to make it scoopable after it's been in the freezer for several hours or days. Here's our bowl of sherbet, scooped up and ready to enjoy.